think I found it. Guys, you should be hear me now. Tell me. I think I found it. Guys, you should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yes. Okay.
Woohoo!
Yeah, just
All
last.
right.
Yeah, last bits of settings.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's not
Awesome.
us, it's AI sabotaging. We already started this battle. Sorry, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. And yeah, I think we finally can start. And we have a lot of people joining the stream. Thank you, Mike, for solving this. So you probably missed my introduction, so I'll do it again. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Juliet. I'm a brand designer from a company called MetaView. It's an AI startup, AI in recruiting, based in London and in SAF. And today with me are Mike and Nick, who both are art directors from design studio called Unknown, and Mike is also a founder. Could you guys please wave to the camera? This is Mike and Nick, and today they're gonna battle with each other for the next 75 minutes. We're gonna stress test how good is design when you do everything yourself versus you do everything with AI. So the rules are that Mike is not allowed to use AI for any of the design he produces, except for using Claude for content. That's allowed. And maybe at the end, he could use AI for making some mockups, but that's like a gray area. And Nick is not allowed to use any of the traditional tools for designing. He can only use AI tools to produce his design. So they didn't know about the task in advance, and they will only find out about it now. And the task will be to rebrand HiBob. For those who don't know, HiBob is a HR tech that allows people to solve payroll and everything, and finance, etc. And maybe someone could share the brief. Can I get the brief on the screen, please? Nice. And in the future, the business multiplied in annual recurring revenue and completed an IPO, became a single highest earning HR software vendor for mid-sized company worldwide. So if we scroll down, basically I've prepared all this information for Mike and Nick to sort of help them with the rebrand for HiBob, but the main idea is that we'll look in the future where HiBob is the best HR software in the world, and now we're trying to build the identity for them that will express that in the best way. Sounds like we're good to go. I'll set up a timer on my phone. And all right, I set up a 60-minute timer. So when we hit last 15 minutes, guys, I will let you know in advance so you could wrap up. We, the audience, will see what you're doing and will silently maybe judge you, maybe not, but sometimes we can comment on what is happening on the screen. Looks like everything is good. So yeah, we're ready to go. You can start working on each of the rebrands, and we will be seeing what you're doing. In the meantime, so you are not bored, I have some questions that the audience asked us just the day before in the forum. Let me open it. Also, like, feel free to drop any questions in the chat. And in advance, excuse my voice, please. I will be coughing from time to time, but I'll try to keep it minimum. All right. Let's go to the questions. So the first question is, what is your advice for new designers in this AI world? That's that's an interesting one, because there's so many trends happening right now where when designers actually drop the design process because it limits them, and because AI allows you to jump into design, skipping prototyping, skipping all the customer journey mapping, and get it out as soon as possible to the world and test if it works, if it doesn't work. Saying all that, I still think that if you are new to the profession, if you're just starting, you still like the framework is your best friend. Framework and design process will help you get there, because it's easy when you have years behind your back and you've done a lot of designs. Like, you sort of have your own I guess, like millions of designs in your head. But when you're just starting and you have a blank canvas, a lot of people have actually like they feel challenged when they sit in front of blank canvas. So design process actually helps you a lot. What do I mean by that? I mean research. I mean talking to the customers. Yeah, they're both using Claude because Mike is allowed to use Claude for the content, but not for the design. So I know it's a bit confusing, but we're not writers, we are designers. So the rules doesn't allow Mike to use AI for any graphics, any design elements he produces. Hopefully that's clear. Where was I? So yeah, I think what do I mean by design process is customer journey map is understanding where your customer lands, what's the context, where they come from, what are the goals, what are they thinking every day, what they're seeing every day. Basically immerse yourself in the world and understand like what kind of solution in terms of design, in terms of messaging, will help them to solve the problem they have. Just reading the questions. Yeah, so on the recording, we'll share both screens separately for you, so it's easier. But yeah, that's sort of like, I think it's interesting to see what both of the designers are doing at the same time, and what is the process looks like. It's kind of like interesting to compare. Obviously, we can't like read it in details, and we need to let designers to play around, do their job. But yeah, I'm kind of enjoying this sort of little work happening here. Yeah. So again, to sum up the first question, I think immerse yourself in framework. If you just starting, framework is your best friend, both in the research and in the way you approach graphic design, visual composition, and everything. Like, AI is good at like replicating stuff. If we take Claude design, it's like it can manage to sort of connect the styles. Like if you upload your design system to Claude and you say you need a presentation or something, it will find you the correct icons, the correct product imagery if it has the same name. But one thing that Claude doesn't do is to understand visual hierarchy. So when you look at your final slides of whatever final design, it will be pretty hard to like understand what's going on there, what is important, what is not important, because again, AI still doesn't understand that. So Mike and Nick, I have a question from the audience that more of a request that it would be great to hear you talking through your process and how you approach the challenge. Yeah, it would be good to give us a bit of an overview. Mike, do you want to start?
Yeah, shortly, because I'm just in the middle of the process. So I'm just looking into some references because I read the brief and I kind of have an idea of where to go, but I just have to like find safe places in order to not waste time on the like production time. Yeah, so I'm planning to be on references for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'll be doing the initial, I don't know, kind of bits.
Nice, thank you. Nick?
I do not read the brief. I just feed it to Claude and he gives me the summary that I'm now summarizing into a little summary inside Figma. And I have something for the inspiration. That's the 10 rules of JKR from recent off festival.
Nice.
So basically, now I'm doing a little research and then I will go to references. I've already found some design that Hi Bob is using right now. And I'm trying to find how they started because it's a good way to find like the previous design. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe we can redesign in that way. But yeah, it's not that good.
Remember, it's a year 2035, so it's way in the future when AI already took all of our jobs and Claude figured out visual hierarchy and everything. So basically, you are a future LLM trying to build a brand of hypo. Joking, obviously. But thank you so much for the overview. I will come back to you. And for now, we'll just move to the next questions, which is, are brands becoming more similar because creative use the same AI tools? Is original creation dying, or can AI actually help us work faster without sacrificing quality? That's a very interesting question. I think again, it like depends on what level you are right now. Basically, AI just took over everyone who was on junior middle level. Even like at my job, what I used to have a designer for before, like presentation and everything, it was a separate person doing this job. Now AI is doing this job. So obviously, like entry level is not needed anymore. And I think we still have a lot of companies like, if you are mid-market, maybe entry-level job is fine for you, and maybe generic design that you've created without a designer is fine for your needs. Obviously, for bigger brands, that just doesn't work. Like, we see brands investing in a lot of like original work, original production, and we see even this trend. Whenever a big brand is doing high production ads, they also release a video of them making the ads and like to show that none of the AI was used in it. So there is definitely an appetite for human craft, human touch, as we call it, among my colleagues. And there's definitely a trend for it as well. In terms of the brands looking similar to each other, I really love if you can check out this report called The Aesthetics of AI. Basically, a company analyzed a lot of different AI companies and how they present themselves. And place them into these different buckets of gradients or digital impressionism or technical illustrations or AI generated illustrations. And each one of them has like its own personality. And it's like, once you read it, it's so easy to place the company that is in front of you that is like AI or tech company into one of those buckets, which is really funny. But I think brands who want to stand out more, that they like find a way to blend those different techniques to do whatever it takes to look different. And obviously it's like, it's not only the brand design. Right now brand is whatever you do in commercials, whatever you say on your website. It's a lot about positioning, it's a lot about your product as well, how you release the new features, or what do you do about pricing, or what is your like international politics as well. So brand design like is just part of a bigger like brand strategy. And right now, in the lack of like creativity, I think brands tap into those different mediums like photography, which they borrow from all the fashion brands, or commercials, which like, if you notice, all the big AI brands started investing in commercials. Like, look at Ramp was this actor they hired from The Office to represent them. Look at Harvey AI. Look at Lovable. Claude. Claude is probably the best example. The work they've been doing lately with model design is like amazing. Going back to the chat, and just gonna see what we have here. Everything will be text-based. I mean, we still need the visuals. We still need to feel the emotions and connect to people through creativity. The image sometimes can deliver the message in a way the words can't. And there is a huge like the Claude work was called Start Thinking. It was the commercial they did with Mother Design Agency just a couple of months ago. You can find it on YouTube. Just go to Claude and search for the like video. It's like 1 minute, but it was really good. Like, video is just the part of it. Another part of it was that in New York they had like a spot where it's called Keep Thinking. So in New York they had a spot where they like gave everyone a cap that said "Keep Thinking." Basically, the whole campaign is about like, everyone is like, oh, there is no need to do the work because AI can do everything for you now. And they are like, no, actually right now is the best time to keep thinking, do the work, trial, fail, but keep unlocking your creativity with AI, which was really, really smart. But if you look at the list of people working on that campaign, I think it's like 80 people. But yeah, it was great. Nick, I think it's your screen. We have the question from the audience. What is the graph with green lines are you doing, or is this Mike?
It's mine.
Grab this.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
mine.
it's Mike's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing the K visual that I will be using. I'm just trying to figure out the setup, which I didn't. I did just 5 minutes more. It's not working the way I wanted, unfortunately, but I will.
Could you walk us through a bit of the like idea you have behind it?
I can't because it will help Nick.
Okay. No, we're not.
I'll talk about this later.
Okay, but yeah, as I see, it's Cinema 4D, and yeah, you're working with particles.
Really?
Where was I with the questions? Yeah, I was talking about brands stepping into different ways to express themselves. So we see a lot of tech brands doing the commercial types of ads to like help people to relate to them, and especially like when all the AI brands right now very like humanless, I would say, because they try to focus on the product, they try to sell the product, they all like BLG. So commercial is one of the ways they could actually tell a story when on the website, and they all the brand elements they're a bit limited. Is it an AI tool? So if the question is still about Mike's graph, it's not AI tool, it's Cinema 4D. So it's 3D modeling tool. Hopefully I answer that. Nick, do you want to walk us through what you're doing?
I've dig into competitors and I've seen through the websites and looked how they do their branding, how what's the tone of voice of the main competitors. So now I've picked the direction that I like. And I'm going to experiment with some logos, with some colors, some sketches using Nano Banana.
Nice, thank you. As you can see, like we noticed two different approaches. When Nix is one of those where you try to feel yourself with all the information analysis, which will help you to like come up with the idea, and with design that will like be relatable to customers. And Mike jumps quickly to like solution, and both approaches are correct. It's just like two different types of designers and design processes. And yeah, there is actually a very interesting talk on YouTube if you want to check out later. There was a Hatch conference last year, and the design lead from Anthropic, she talked exactly about that. That as product designers or any type of designers before, we had all this like process, all this research, UX research, which took months and months before you even jump into design. And now seeing how quickly all these AI companies ship the new features, it's almost like her point was that we don't have time for that. And she used to be a design director at Figma, and she talked a lot about how she was working on FigJam. And a very controversial point she raised, which I quite like, is that a lot of the time in the decision making, they actually base their decision on intuition, which is very controversial in the design community. But she was like, we had the solution in mind, and it's almost like we backed up our solution with the data and with the testing and everything. Because sometimes she was like, you should trust yourself more as designers, because sometimes you can listen to the audience and give them what they want. But if you're working on the product, the audience doesn't always like understand what they want in the best way. And you as a designer have a better intuition, a better kind of craft to build the future of interfaces, build the future of user experience, and give users what they want. So yeah, it's kind of funny how we're seeing like two different approaches here as well, and like which makes all like these battles quite interesting to watch. Um, can I get some answers for the audience? Like which screen you're looking at? Is it like 50% here, 50% there? Or are you specifically noticing, like looking at what Mike is doing, what Nick is doing? What is what catches your eye? Don't get my answer, the answers yet. So yeah, going back to the brief, basically, if you Google this company, HiBob, it's a HR tool for payroll and finances, everything. They have not a bad brand. It's just all right. And what we're doing, we are rebranding HiBob for year 2035 when they became the best HR software for payroll and everything. The guys have like more detailed brief for what were the goals of HiBob, just like to help them to emphasize more with like what should be a metaphor, what should be a brand idea for this. But we are just looking at the job. Basically, they are coming up with the new brand for a company called HiBob. No, it's Cinema 4D, not Blender. Mike is not a big fan of Blender. Mike, do you want to give us a hot take? Why you don't like Blender?
Blender is not so friendly, and it's, I don't know, for me, Cinema 4D is just like, it's fun to use, really, just so intuitive, and you can do whatever you want, and you need to spend a lot of time in Blender to really understand how it works. And here, yeah, I feel like in a couple of weeks you can do whatever you want. Yeah, I'm nearly there, by the way.
Nice, thank you. I'm just reading the rest of the comments. Another question for you, Mike, from the audience is that, are there any restrictions on approach excluding the use of AI tools? Do you feel like any restrictions?
Not for now. Maybe a bit later. You can just like when I'll be doing how the scene looking is, like the shaders, the colors, all of that. You can iterate with AI a bit faster. I'll be doing it by like old style, old school approach, which can take a bit longer than it can be with AI today. But not for now. I think like it's more not on a conceptual stage, but maybe on a production stage where I can really help you with the speed and the quality for sure.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, there was one question about the deliverables. So it's like basic, like standard pack of brand, which includes some of the social media and how the ads will look like, and the logo and the website and presentations. Basically, an overview how the potential rebrand will look like, so we understand how it works in different mediums. Yeah, exactly. I'm just reading the comment about two different approaches, exactly what I've been talking about, how interesting it is when some designers start with the research to sort of like fill themselves with the information that will give them an inspo what the design should look like, and the others, they have the solution in mind and they sort of like work from solution towards the positioning and content and everything else. A general question: what sets a brand designer apart today? So It's actually an interesting one because I've been talking a lot lately with like design leaders from Lovable, Wise, Monzo, Anthropic, and all of them say one thing. It's right now, as a brand designers, they're looking for a generalist, someone who've done basically everything, because right now companies move at such a quick pace that they need this one person to be able to jump into different things. The overall trend that is happening, the teams are shrinking. Like before, everyone was praising, oh my god, Spotify has like one team for one thing, one team for another. Now everyone is saying this is not very efficient, and it's actually better to have a squad of designer, developer, marketer, and they ship all these different like products. And like same works with brand design. Basically right now you need a product marketing manager and brand designer, and they just will ship the products. And as a as a brand designer, you need to be able to stretch your skills from web to graphic to print to AI, and being able to jungle all of it, and also like deliver it on time was a good quality. I would say that, but also like being like it's not I guess the news being AI native. So right now a lot of like tech companies require you not just like to deliver the task, but also to innovate, like every time to come up with decision how you could make this task quicker, how could you enable the team you have, especially if like you have a small team of brand designers in the company where you have sales department, customer success, and they all produce some shape or form of presentations, one pagers, basically customer prospect facing um, like materials, documents, and you can't expect like one or two or three designers to do it for them all the time. That's also just like not the best use of the designers these days. So as a brand designer who would stand out, you need to come up with these solutions. Okay, I've built this tool that enables colleagues at my company now to build their own one pagers, build their own assets without needing me, but still without fucking up the brand. Sorry, but basically make whatever they need on brand within the limitations of the brand. I would say that, and also like it's a bit of a cliche that everybody is talking about taste. I don't think it's the taste. It's just like basic understanding of the graphic design. Like a lot of the times you like review the portfolio, and it can have amazing projects in there, but the way the portfolio is done doesn't follow the main graphic design rules or the visual hierarchy. It doesn't use the good typography, and it immediately puts you off. Same with like if you're making a case study for the call and your presentation starts with something that is not accessible, the font is not readable, the line height is not like perfect there, it makes it harder to read. That immediately puts you off. And one thing I heard from a brand designer from Lovable is he is like, I hate when people just put we everywhere. We've delivered this project. We've done blah, blah, blah. And he's like, who's we? Like, I don't know. It's like so easy to say that we as a company shipped this, but I'm interested in what you specifically have done in this work. And it should be very clear from your portfolio, or if you like putting a post on social media, it's like still to not be afraid to like be proud of your work or shout which part of it you specifically delivered. Just going back to the questions, I feel like I've been talking a lot. Guys, do you wanna fill the silence a bit? No, not to distract you. Okay, I'm just gonna read the questions. So I still have the question for you, and maybe if you don't use it, I can answer this. Would like to know the AI workflow. What prompts and other AI software are you using besides Claude and Nana Banana after competitive analysis research? Anyone wants to pick up? Mike is not using anything, so all good. He's not allowed. Nick?
Basically, I'm using Claude for prompts, and then I'm using Flow by Google for some images because it's free. And then, if I will have time, I will use Kling for videos. But mainly, I use Figma Weave because they have nods, and nods are beautiful and unique.
Yeah, we love notes. I think they're coming from Cinema 4D. That was the first software when I saw it, and I was like, wow, like, why don't we have it anywhere else? It's so good. Yeah, if you haven't, highly recommend you to go to Figma Weave and check out notes. Yeah, it's just really useful to have it. What AI tools have enhanced your workflows the most? What are some non-negotiables that you wouldn't do with AI at all? I guess I'll answer this question for myself. Basically, Claude is probably has the biggest impact, but yeah, I wouldn't say only in design, but in the way I work, it helps me from structuring the Slack messages, the Notion, project management, all of that is like so easy to do with Claude. And also, like a couple of years, like before AI, it's like whenever you have a project and you have zero idea how to do it, like it will take you some time to research, or you're launching the website and something doesn't work and you spend hours and hours figuring out what is wrong with the or with the code to find the problem. And now all this time has shrinked, and now like I'm absolutely not afraid to pick up responsibility for the projects I have no idea how to do, because with Claude I can just like figure it out from VR to production to video to 3D and everything. It's very, very easy to like quickly learn something new. I use a lot of Lovable for building internal tools for my team, like Brand Hub. Like I've built an assets creator for my team, so they don't need to log into Figma and figure out how to use all the tools in Figma. They can just like type the headline, source the logo they need, and they get the social image or email image, and it's all on brand because it's taking it from the Brand Hub tool. The non-negotiables, I don't know, like for the website, I still design stuff myself. I don't prototype. Like all the prototyping I do with Claude, and if Claude can't put it together the way I want, then like I design it myself. So some of the final touches, like beautiful gradients or like very specific, I guess, visual hierarchy you want to have if you're designing like a print or something. Obviously, something that pisses me off a lot is that none of the print industry software has been upgraded with AI. We still need to go to Illustrator. We still need to set up the bleed and everything for the printing, which is like, I think, one of the most dull and annoying job in brand design, but it is what it is. So those are definitely non-negotiables. Like we recently had a project actually for MetaView. We had the out of door campaign in Vegas, and the designer who was before me, because I just joined the company, they've created like this giant dice that looks like 3D, but they've created it in AI. And the billboard in Vegas was a giant size. So I was like, no matter how much you up the quality in Topaz, it will still be pixelized on this size. It will still not look great. So I actually hired Mike's team to build the 3D version of the dice. And then we also decided to animate it and do it like a naked eye effect. And again, because we work with the perspective, we need an absolutely high-res quality. So that was the moment where we couldn't get there with AI. Again, because of the scale, because of the quality of production. Like Kling with Midjourney would never get us there. So yeah, I think when you have something major and on a very large scale, unfortunately AI will get you only so far. All right. Coming to the next questions. How do you brand design generalist? Do you call yourself a multidisciplinary designer? Yeah, or are you just I think, again, like for the purpose of people finding you, you call yourself a brand designer. Like giving you an example, as I work in AI recruiting, so I sort of like know how it works behind the scenes. And like a lot of recruiters actually messaged me when I joined MetaView, like, oh my God, I use this tool. So one of the features that the MetaView tool has is the sourcing, where the recruiter basically types in the chat. It looks sort of like ChatGPT or Claude. I wanted a brand designer with 10 years of experience working in SaaS companies in London. And the sourcing tool gives you back all these different profiles. So companies rarely that I've seen look for multidisciplinary designer. It's something that comes up during the interview. You mentioned that you can do all this sort of stuff, but it would be easier to find you if you use like more generic, not generic, like more common terminology to brand yourself and like make it easier for people to find you. Hopefully that answers the question. Why not use an AI tool like Wiscom right now? I actually don't know what Wiscom is. Do you guys know? No.
Doesn't ring the bell.
Same, yeah. But something I see a lot on the market is like these tools like AirOps or Supersite. Like there are a lot of companies who build tools for brand designers to kind of like help to organize the stuff and create images on brand. Whenever I see something like this, I'm like, well, if you are a good enough internal brand designer, you could probably build it yourself with Claude or Lovable. Like there is no need for your company to pay this extra amount of money for a subscription every month that all the company built. But no idea what WSCOM is, so can't really comment. Best tools for pitch decks. So something my company uses right now, which really blew my mind, was Gamma. You've probably heard of it. Basically, they upload a transcript, like if you yourselves, they upload a transcript to Claude, and Claude builds the deck, goes to Gamma, and builds the deck for you in the colors that I set up as a brand designer in advance. Is like you can set up a main like brand theme there. Gamma is not really good with like images. It will generate you some crap if you need like images. So you'll have to manually come back there and upload product imagery and everything. But generally, like from the brand design perspective, when I see that the salesperson hasn't spent a second designing the deck and it's aligned, you use the right colors, the right typography, I'm like genuinely happy seeing this, because I've seen so many Google Slides. Whenever you have a template, they mess it up so much, and it's just like such a waste of time. So yeah, Gamma is pretty good for that type of solution. The brand hub tool. So the question is, what was the brand hub tool you use? So I used Lovable to build a brand hub for my company. Basically, I sort of treat it as a design system in Figma, but in Lovable, because the rest of the people in my company, they're not like Figma users, and sometimes it's just much quicker to jump on the page and download the logo. It all started with that on my first day. I'm like logging into my Google account, and the logo there was like stretched a bit. I'm like, the logo is not like even here where I can find the correct version of the logo. And it all started on like Slack. Oh my God, where are the logos? And they are in some Google Drive folder that somebody needs to find. And it's like, it's hard. Like, and that's one of the reasons why people in the company who are not designers do not stay on the brand, because it's just hard to find the brand elements like logos and everything. So I just use Lovable. I actually have an article on LinkedIn about it, how I build it, what like strategy I use. There is a custom GPT specifically for Lovable builders that like it assess your idea, and when you're stuck on Lovable with like it doesn't do what you want, or there is a problem and you can't figure it out, you can ask that custom GPT and it will help you to figure out. It will help you to write a more technical request for Lovable. But the biggest enablement thing it did. So I've built a brand hub. We have a Lovable corporate account. So everyone from my team, not from my team, like from my company, who wants to go and build their own tool, like HR want to build a hub for potential applicants. Sales person wants to build a one pager or something else. Customer success wants to build a document. They all reference my brand hub that I already built, and Lovable already takes all the styles, the fonts I uploaded, the logos and everything from that hub. And all these people, they don't contact me to help them with those tools. It just like works on its own, and I don't even know. And usually 99% of the time it's all on brand. It's like pretty, it also like pretty easy to use with the chat. So yeah, it was all about So another question, Curious what the workflow is when you work with clients. How do you make sure client is happy with the designs? I sort of treat people internally also as a clients. I don't know. I used to be I spent a lot of years on agency side before I moved in house, and I still treat people as stakeholders and clients even internally. By the way, guys, you have like 15 minutes before we hit 1 hour mark, and then you'll have another 15 minutes. Sorry. Yeah, I was saying that I treat people internally as clients as well. I think whenever you work with them to make sure the designs are approved, first you need to set up the same like goal for design and the same criteria. I always found that people like start wandering in your canvas and being like, can we do this? Can we do that? When they like forget about the goal of the canvas or like specific medium you're working on. Is this the page that like should drive conversion? Is this the page that should drive more like a brand traffic or like paint a brand story? So reminding them about the core goal or whatever you're doing is really, really helpful. So they don't spread too much into different designs. Secondary, I would say remind them like about the core audience, how they perceive it, what action we want them to make after this, and is this design decision help us to get closer to that action or not. That also helps to set up the scene. And the last one, if I'm like really stuck with the person and we really like don't understand each other or have different views, we just like together go and search the references. And you just spend the time with the person, go to Pinterest, go to Behance, go to Mobin, and you're like, okay, what do you think about this? Do you mean this? Do you mean that? Because sometimes it's just harder to express with words what you mean. And is this your child? He also wants to design. Sometimes it's just harder to express with words you mean, and especially it's so much harder for the client that you need to place all these canvases in front of them and help them understand what they want. Like, don't ever take the defensive position, because that will jeopardize the communication and will never work. Like, if the client sees the work and they have some comments or anything, it's probably because we didn't hit the space where they have a vision, they have a feeling about the logo branding or something, and we didn't hit the spot why like our design should work there. Like, either the design doesn't work or we didn't explain to them like why it will hit the goal that we set up with the client. I would say that. And also, one of the best advice I heard is there is nothing more powerful than a designer who could kill their own designs immediately and start over. Not like in a way when you just like start over every canvas, because sometimes you have 80% of work and then the last 20% is like the most important, right? But if you like get too attached to your design and the client wants something else, when you can say to them easily that, yeah, we can make something else, we'll create something new, that's like so powerful that you are not attached to your design. While using AI to build concepts and projects, is there a feeling of this is not entirely me? How to still keep it authentic? I would say the feeling of it being entirely you kind of like comes from you when you look at the design brief or you look at the company's positioning. There is this like moment you hit when you like, this is the metaphor that will help me to translate these words into visual language, into emotions and everything. Like, I don't think AI kills this one, like once you understand for yourself what this like idea looks like, how to represent it. What, are there any examples in the world that are like close to your idea? And yeah, I don't think like AI kills it. You can perfect the quality, but you need to be able to like say it. It's like the difference between photography and art direction. AI can generate a photo of two people for you, which will be completely boring and generic, and you like this is AI slop. At the same time, AI also can generate an art-directed photography with the storytelling behind it, with the tension inside photography, but it's you who put the meaning to make it art-directed, like you who fill the canvas with those ideas, what you want to express there. Um, so yeah, like there always will be AI slop, and you will almost never get the perfect image from the first iteration. But again, like it's up to you. If you have what you want to say, if you have something unique to say, or bring a unique idea to your brand, um, AI only like enables you to get there faster. Because on the other hand, like I would say before, imagine before AI, you work on the brand, and the best idea to express your brand is like um, high production fashion photography, and you don't have budget for that, you don't have models for that. What are you gonna do? And before, you sort of like just skip that idea because that is out of scope. But now AI is like pretty good at photography. It's like even some of the 3D stuff, it's sometimes like quite hard to see the difference. Obviously, you can see the difference, but like if you perfect it enough, if you clean it all in like Photoshop after, it's pretty good, and allows you to sort of use your whole imagination, and also allows you to fix the mistakes. Another anecdote story I had was working with Mike's team is in my previous workplace. We used to make this like AI video commercials, and one of them had this like cyclist in London. Because my previous company was like about benefits, and we were showing all the different types of benefits, different people using them, and we like we're almost ready before like hitting the button and put it all in like live. The videos are done, and my colleague notices that the cyclist doesn't have a helmet, and they're like so obsessed about it. They're like, we need to have a helmet, we need to make sure that our brand is about safety and everything. So imagine if we did a full production in London, which first you need to get licenses. You just can't just film in London with the production team. Second, after months and months of like editing everything, actors being hired, videographers, there's that mistake. What are you gonna do about it? Like you already spent around like 20K on the production. And yeah, in our case, we were able to just fix it in a second. We fixed it in Photoshop, animated again in Kling, and it went live just like as it was supposed to get live on the same like day. And yeah, and we didn't spend like tons of money on that. And that campaign actually generated a lot of customers for us. It was like someone like a LinkedIn manager contacted us after, and they were like, "Oh my god, your campaign performs like 3 times above the market, blah blah blah." Well, like thanks, but yeah, don't remember what the question was, but yeah. Which AI tools are openly sharing self-brand ID design and concept to the public, or are visible by public while iterating? Oftentimes, branding projects are indeed top secret before product launch. I mean, fair enough. Like, I've had so many companies stealing the design that we've put with the team on the new homepage, on the new brand, that I'm like not surprised that everything is gated, because imagine you are a giant company, imagine you are Claude and you working on the new brand campaign, and there is some like, I don't know, small one person startup, and they see how you are iterating and they just like steal your idea. Why would you do that? It's like absolutely fair to gauge the stuff you're working on. How are you guys doing? Do you feel comfortable presenting in 20 minutes?
Finally, I finally am. It's just like it was really messy. I couldn't find the right idea, and now I did. So yeah, I'm pretty okay. Found something.
Nice.
Same
Should be
here.
done soon.
Same here.
Same here. Let's
Yeah,
see. All right.
I just found it and I'm trying to do it like super good.
Do you
No,
want
it's just good.
to walk us through a bit what you were doing before? We still have 15 minutes.
Nah, not yet.
Okay.
Need
Mike?
need to finalize it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. So again, I was trying to find the idea, like how should I show something? And actually, I was trying to like kind of do something like that, but there was not so much time, and I just looked at it and I didn't like it. And I wanted to combine these kind of structures and this like sunlight, because the whole branch should be like warm and all of that. And then I realized that first of all, like I can't do something like that. Time is running up, so I just killed the half of the idea and just stick with the sunlight. And then I just found some like effects, some, I don't know, approach to just create something that feels cool but doesn't show anything like particular. It is abstract, but it like shows what it should be like showing. Yeah, and now I'm just like trying to understand if this works together, and then I'll be mock-upping. And it should be how many time? We do have like 25 minutes more. What?
No, you have 15 minutes.
Okay, yeah, all right. So 10 minutes for finishing up, 5 minutes for mock-upping. That should be fine.
Yes, correct. This is actually quite interesting. I think this exercise of like designing on the spot is very, very valuable. Like in my previous company, when they were hiring my replacement, that was one of the case study. You know, just like preparing something in advance, like a home take task. On the call, they ask you to jam with the content lead to come up with the new creative campaign, and that is quite common. That's something I do every day with my like brand content people, my colleagues. Is just hopping on Figma and jamming in real time, where everyone allowed to do something with the design, and like we quickly can see what works, what doesn't work. People see for themselves what works, and once we like find the version that works the best, then I like clean it up and make it perfect and aligned and like high quality. But the reason I'm saying this is that I've like at my previous job, I reviewed a lot of really good portfolios. I would say like outstanding portfolios, and those were people who applied for a brand design lead role, and they had projects not just in brand design. It was a lot of like production as well. It was a lot of like directing, animation videos, commercials, and that was like one of the requirements for the role. Building design system, doing rebrands. But from all the great portfolios I've seen, none of them passed the case study task, which was being able to come up with the idea on the spot, on the call. And it's like really uncomfortable. We as a designers, we're like, we need our perfect setup, our perfect environment. Nobody looks at our screen, and like in a safe environment, we like design something because it's like it's still quite creative, and you like put yourself out there. You like testing, trying different things, and it's like might be uncomfortable sharing. So that's something like that. That's just a skill you train to be able to come up with design on the spot, find ideas, references that will work, especially like answering again the question with the client. Just open Pinterest and try and like bombard them with all the different references to understand what they want, how it looks like, what they taste is like, or and like in a case when they like something that is like obviously bad, you can like just walk them through and explain why this design is not the best, why it doesn't deliver the goal you have specifically. So yeah, I would say that's a skill, and certainly in my career, like I'm 10 years in design now, so probably it was 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, when I actually I took Mike's course. It was something like about multidisciplinary designer, when we covered all the different areas. I was like, I just want to see my blind spots, etc. And one of the first tasks we had there was you all are in one Figma board, and you have 1 minute, and in 1 minute you need to deliver like a message or something with like visual elements. And in that moment, you understand that delivering a blank canvas is even more embarrassing than delivering something that just looks awful or generic or cringe. And that was the exercise that helped me to sort of like break the internal perfectionist that like doesn't allow anybody to see the screens or like iterate many times on different designs, and like trying to perfect one image that might not even work. Like I would say, whenever you present something, always give people like a choice, a choice of three ideally, where you come from the most generic design to the most like creative one. And yet in that case, you show the client or a stakeholder in the company that you are capable of the creative work, and this was your bet that like something like this will work better. Even like for the sake of anecdote, like you could be like, this how potentially in the future maybe we could look like more interesting, more unique. And you would be surprised how many people actually prefer the more creative concept to the more basic and generic concept. So yeah, if you feel shy showing your design, or like working when someone is watching you, yeah, I definitely recommend doing something like this, and show even like half-baked designs to your team, and always like ask for feedback as well. Feedback always makes us better. I would say my best feedback is from people who are not designers. So weird, but whenever I design something and from the aesthetic perspective, it looks good, like follows all the rules, but people who are non-designers, they don't get your idea, it won't work. And actually, people from marketing, from HR, sales, they will give you like a good, I would say, direction where to go. So sometimes they can say something quite obvious, or something like put this red button everywhere to draw people that obviously we need to navigate the ideas to not make a traffic light of our website with like 100 colors. But in terms of meaning of your design, definitely advice to try to understand what they mean by it when they give you feedback. All right, I'm talking a lot, so I'm gonna read some questions. Also has AI template and tone of voice built in. If that was the question about the brand hub I built, yes, we have two versions of that brand hub. One is external version, which we share with providers. So whenever they need our logos and stuff, they can download from the external version. And they have the asset builder inside external version as well. So they can also use it to create something. The internal version has the tone of voice, the core positioning, why we have this positioning. So yeah, slightly different. Will there be a recording of this? Yes. Is your company hiring? Would love to work with you. So I don't know about Unknown, so I'll answer for MetaView. MetaView is actually hiring for a product designer right now. So yeah, if you are a product designer and you want to work in an AI company and build the future experiences, I would definitely recommend to apply. Doesn't all hands in Figma make time management messy? It feels like there is no clear POV, just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. Isn't that counterproductive? Honestly, at the pace we are moving, it is sort of like the same as we compare Slack messages and call. Like you can have 20 Slack messages about something, or you can just jump on the call and quickly discuss it with the person. I would say the context of like my job specifically is that MetaView is a young brand, and which like never had this like big, expansive like brand work with brand foundation and something. So they always like they iterate on the brand all the time. At least they've done before, and the brand now has sort of like a very strict guard rails. So it has some like rules, and everything else is up to interpretation. As a brand designer, coming like I've been 3 months at this job, I'm building the guardrails. I'm the one who's like, okay, we are now having only these 4 gradients. We don't use anything else. We don't generate any more gradients. We use these colors. We don't just randomly pick up other colors and stuff. And obviously, before each project, we sort of align on the theme, and that theme should be relatable to the customers, prospects, whatever we're building, and then we iterate on the design. So in the moment when we iterate on the design, it's actually so much quicker to jump on half an hour call, trial these different variants live, and your stakeholders can see which one of them don't actually work, which one, like some of the ideas are just like generally not great ideas. And also while you are on the call with them, instead of like them dropping a comment in Figma and saying like, can we put this copy on like, I don't know, a glass shape or gradient or something, and you know as a designer that it's a messy bad decision that will not look good. Like text can always be interpreted in whatever way. Like you can mean something well, but it could be read in a different tone. So like actually interacting with the voice is so much better. You can say, actually, like, I know what you mean, but this design is not very readable. It's a bit outdated. Actually, if you look at the 1, 2, 3 companies, they don't do it anymore. They switch to another solution. So I would say, like definitely it saves time because you finish the meeting with the solution you've like all agreed on, and now your work as a designer is just to polish everything. By the way, guys, we have 2 minutes before we finish, so yeah, let me know if you need 5. I didn't get that.
I need 5. I need 5.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna give you 5 more minutes. Then I'm gonna finish the questions. That process sounds interesting. When do you find yourself being open to exploring with wider teams and getting feedback versus being strict with the time and deliverables? I mean, it depends on the project. I think it depends how much time you have before you need to sort of make the page live or submit if it's like a booth design or conference design. And also, I think the team has a clear understanding when something should be like core on brand, should have your logo everywhere, your core positioning everywhere, like your colors and everything. And sometimes the team is like, this is creative campaign. We are actually flexible and we want to bring something more unique and different to brand. We are open to explore the out-of-the-box solutions. So that is the perfect way to bring external team and generate like more solutions. The best probably, like also if you want to just like explore what could work for your brand in general, the most like safe way to do it is ads, like LinkedIn or Meta, whatever, Google, whatever you use, will always like show you if people respond to this messaging, if people respond to this graphic element, like do they understand it, does it drive engagement, and that can always be like a foundation of a bigger campaign where you need a bigger team. It also like depends, like if you want to bring someone for more creative exploration, if you want to bring someone who will build you specific like website pages or I don't know, app or out of door campaign or video production. Yeah, it depends on the scope of the project, but also depends on your communication with the team. Like obviously, you as a one brand designer, for example, can't do everything yourself. So one criteria I also have is, does the team that I bring need to know a lot of the context of the product to be able to accomplish this task successfully? And if I understand that they will be fine with like stuff we have on the website, that's like 100% yes. If I understand that there's something a bit more tricky and there is like a lot of context, then like I'll do it myself quicker, just because I know that context. So yeah, depends on situation. Sorry, it's probably not a very like black and white answer. I'm a second year product industrial designer studying in London. Any advice on how to break into industry? Oof, that's a tough one because a couple of years ago, I would tell you just go like be an intern at like any of the studios. I think like the best way to start for any designer is a design studio. Don't go in-house because you don't know if the person above you will be a strong person that will teach you. In a design studio, you'll have so many projects, so many design directors above you who need like cheap hands and need someone to do the research, need someone to do the boring job, but seeing the work they're doing will help you like understand how to behave, how to respond, what is good design, what is not. Like all these people, they also like discuss everything that is happening in design, like in between the job, during the lunch break and everything. So yeah, if you can, I would say yeah, try to convince the design studios that they need you. Find a specific point of view or skill set that you can offer them, and then yeah, maybe it will work out. The time ran up.
All right.
So are you guys ready? How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go to explain what I did, but give me just one last minute. I just need my laptop to become like cold because it was doing a lot, and then I'll go and explain what I did.
Over here. Use it. Nick, what about you? How do you feel?
I'm nearly there. While Mike is doing presentation, I will do my final mock-ups.
Nice. While your laptop is cooling off, Mike, tell us about how you feel. How was the process? What you struggled with? What was the easy part? 1 minute. I thought the laptop was cooling off, not you.
No, it's not me. Yeah. Yeah, I'll change the screen so people will see my screen better. So you see my screen without anybody else. Yeah, I was waiting also because I was rendering like 3 seconds of animation, but it just got 1.5, just in order to explain how it should be working. Yeah. So what I did, the final things, they look like that. In a sec, maybe I'll rearrange it. And what I did here, I just again, I was trying to do something that will explain where the company is going to. So it's like the OS for employees that I don't know stands for paying people, hiring people, manage people. So like for everything. And I went in the direction, maybe an obvious one, first of all, that again, I will show like some connections that now HiBob is just like the operational system. Then actually Claude, when I was doing the copyright, it said to me like, let's do Bob. Like when the company will be a billion company, they will not be HiBob, they will become Bob. And I love this idea. And I use it straight away. And I created this logo, which I did like basically just in Cinema 4D as well. And I use Cinema 4D as my main tool because when you have just like 1 hour, it's really complicated to do it. Maybe just for me, I don't know. But just to like create lots of interesting graphics or some kind of again, any kind of graphic design with your hands, because it takes time, but it's easy to generate, not with AI, but with any kind of 3D software, and I use Cinema 4D. Yeah, so, and then when I was trying to do something like that, I failed. Again, I just had this like idea in my head, like, okay, let's show people the like warm, bright future, warm, bright, sunny things. Also, people in UK, they know that sun is like a currency, so we don't have so much sun here. So to show people sun should be not a bad idea. And then I was working on a setup, and actually my Cinema 4D had crashed, which hadn't helped at all in the middle of my process. But like again, I readjusted the setup, and then when I was doing any kind of touch point, I was just working the same scene, rotating it, rotating lights, like in adding more objects, doing like this kind of blurs. And also I rendered it the way with a really low quality, so it gives me straight away this cool noise, which doesn't look so, I don't know, polished. And I don't know, I like how is it looking now. Yeah. And yeah, then I just did the touch points, tried to alternate the layouts, not using the image for the whole background, using some not so much expected, let's say, colors. And then I just mock-upped all of that into this kind of pictures. And again, like if I would pitch in this to a client, I would find some words just to like explain what I did. But in order to have some like concept in an hour, I would say that I like this direction. It needs to be like not polished. It should be like really created from scratch. And every picture, in order to have like in a really high quality, I don't know, you should spend one like a day on it. And I also think you can have something like that in AI, but you will not have this kind of perception that it does for now, because all of the special effects, all of these refractions, all of the blurs, I could just control it. For example, this kind of layout, that here I have like bright spot, and the text you can just read it out, so not a problem. You will struggle with AI for some time to have this kind of stuff. Maybe it will, I don't know, suggest you something that will look in better, but I don't quite believe in that. And also, I'm not like the guy who is against AI. I use AI a lot, once again, right? But I feel like when you are on a concept stage, if you're doing it by yourself, it's not that you have more control. I think like your head is evolving, because you have to find ideas, right? You have to think, you have to, I don't know, make some effort. And in order, when you're doing this, so you will become, let's say, smarter or like more educated, all of that. And I think like when the conceptual stage is done and you like the overall result, you can move on into again the production, and you have lots of possibilities how to make it more efficient with the AI as well. Maybe you do some stuff with the 3D or any kind of like software, and then you go to AI again to speed you up. It depends. But again, like I think for now, you like my idea, you shouldn't use AI when you're like thinking of things, right? When you like try to understand what you're doing, you should use it like just a production tool that helps you to do lots of stuff, to create again beautiful pictures, photos for sure, and all of that. So that's what I got. I don't know, Nick, if you're ready, I'll turn your screen on. Just tell. Okay, let's go. Okay. Yeah. Um, I think like somebody says that he can't see or hear, but I think guys, you can hear us and see us as well, right? I believe so. So I think like my idea is like how you should be thinking about brand and the company itself. We can't see or hear the screen. You can't. What happened again? Let's do it. Maybe Do you hear us now? Maybe my setup. I know why. Maybe I know why. I have an idea why. Looks brilliant, by the way. Thank you so much. Now it's fine. So yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, because I have another layout of screens.
Wait,
Somehow
but do
it's
you?
not working. So I leave it just the way it is. All right.
But did you hear Mike's explanation of everything?
Yeah. Guys, you didn't hear my explanation, right? You didn't. Just tell me. Sorry, yeah, are we doing this first time or in this like kind of complex layout with lots of people, like screens, cams? So you didn't heard what we heard you. Yes, awesome, nice, cool, right, cool.
Nice.
Not the
Woohoo.
other people. Ah, all right. Now I get it, Juliet. Now I get it totally.
Yeah.
So they saw what I did, but they didn't heard what you're asking.
Okay.
Heard everything.
No worries. I
Go
just
for it.
asked Mike. Basically, I told Mike that you guys and I were chatting about the different approaches that designers take. Some is more solution based. Some is more like Nick's approach was more research based. And I asked Mike what prompted his approach.
Yeah. Once again, guys, sorry because we are just like testing this out. I hope it will be better next time. Like my idea when you're thinking about company, the most important thing is to try to figure out where is it going, like where it will be in I don't know 5 years, 10 years, maybe 5 years better for now because everything is changing so fast. So when you got this really internally and you just like feel all right, this is where the company is going to. I think this is like stage one. The second stage, which goes in my head always, constantly, is okay. How should I show it? Like how should I express the thing that I have inside in my mind, right? So other people will understand where the company is going to. Because obviously you can just like typo it and say like we're going to become I don't know a billion company or something like that. But design doesn't exist to just typo things. It exists to just show things that support the typo and copy and all of that. Yeah. So in order like to achieve the goal, you have to again understand how to express visually what you had in your mind. And again, I think like this is a very interesting process because it should be done from my perspective once again in a very intense manner because brain is like heating up and you're doing some stuff and all of a sudden like yeah this is how it should be. And I think now when you have this you go into like looking into competitors and rivals in order to understand that first of all you didn't accidentally copy someone. It can happen sometimes because you saw it somewhere you don't remember, but then you just think that it's like it's yours but it's not. It's just like in your head. So you stole something, which shouldn't be the case for sure. Then you should understand all right, like when I compare myself, my company that I'm designing, how it looks when I compare with the rivals. Is it looking like it's future and all the rivals are like something from the past? Yeah, and if it's like pass and the pass, that's it. You can go move on and show it to the client. The conception itself, if he likes it, great. You move on and you're doing the production stage, which is once again much more like time consumption because you just have to do it right, not with I don't know an hour or so because it basically you can't do it. So this is my idea of how it should be done. But you can go from the other end as well, just to show like for yourself some things. If you don't have something in mind, maybe if you will look into rivals or competitors, you will have some idea. Like, all right, this is the point where I'm starting. Right there, like I just have an idea, looking into competitors. But again, I almost doing this in a like isolated tunnel vision, not to distract myself with somebody who has done something before I did.
Nice, thank you. Something I want to flag is I really love the noise effect. Obviously, we all love noise in the era of AI and everything being digitalized, and noise reminds us of old film pictures and creates this like feeling of safety and warm. and combined with the colors. And I love the naming. I love changing from high bob to bob. And even in the logo you've designed, if you zoom in, like the logo is like very rounded, sort of like you almost want to have a mascot in this brand, but the logo itself is like connected and rounded, is like grounding you, creating the feeling that you can like rely on this company, but they
Yeah.
are not humanless even in the way the logo express. There's a lot of like warmth and like attracts you, that you can trust these people. And like the color palette, I love the pastel tones, of cream and pink together. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the colors as well. And once again, for me, color is the most difficult layer. I'm always struggle with when I work with the colors, but I do like to use something like Cinema 4D, because when you just like doing stuff, at some point you just like, oh, this is great. Like the colors are
Yeah.
great. All right, yeah, let's move on. Just like for me to I don't know, figure out the palette working in Figma or Illustrator, it's really like I'm really struggling once again. Like I'm just like picking colors, they are not so great. I'm like, I don't like what I have. But when I'm doing this in some kind of 3D space, it is easier because when you use some kind of different light colors, like the initial physics that you have inside any kind of 3D software, it solves it for, I don't know,
Yeah,
straight away.
well, for
Yeah.
sure. It's much deeper. That's why the design, like we look at right now, yours is like different from all of this aesthetics of AI that we see, and it's a very similar thing I told designers, but on a lower scale. That do not start designing decks in Google Slides or whatever pitch tool you use. Do it in Figma, because in Figma you are unlimited in what you can do on the canvas. The tooling is like very easy and quickly for you to like express yourself, and then figure out if you need it for Google Slides, just use the plugin or build it after, but never start in Google Slides.
I wouldn't recommend to start into Google Slides. That's
No.
the less I don't know, the last maybe a tool for designing.
No, we all hope that
Unfortunately.
Google Slides will die at some point, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's what it is. Nick,
Nick,
hope you
Yeah.
had enough time while we were chatting and reviewing Mike's design to finish yours. And yeah, over to you. Walk us
Nick,
through.
I'm over to you, but then I go back into the whole like screen with all of us, so everybody will hear us. But until we seeing just Nick, everybody just hearing Nick. I wanted to point it out. Nick, let's go. Yeah, before I go, sorry. Thank you guys. Yeah, I saw your comments that you like my work. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
All right. So I was limited to AI. And I have a really long conversation with Claude. I started to look into competitors and everything. And then I asked just to give me some ideas, which sometimes work, sometimes not. Then Claude gave me some ideas. I understood that it doesn't really work. And then I saw something that may work, like the panel. What if the high bob was the one instrument for managing your HR? And then I remembered that we have this kind of teenage engineering synthesizer, minimalistic, brown inspired. I went to Internet Archive, found some old catalogs just for inspiration of brown and this kind of a minimalistic design and everything. So, and then I started to dig into a logo. I've asked Claude to give me some prompts for the logos, and he gave me plenty. Uh, and it was boring, 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 and it was all the same, all the same. And then I asked Claude, um, do not write me the precise prompt.
Um,
Did your AirPods die?
yeah, Nick, we don't hear you again. Yeah. It's we've done it on purpose. Yeah, I'm joking. I just have to have some explanation for that.
Just
Can you hear me
No,
now?
yeah, we do. Cool.
All right.
Move on.
Yeah. So yeah, the turning point was where I asked Claude, do not give me the precise prompt. Give some space for imagination. And then the generation gave me four different options, and I like this one. As soon as I was limited to AI instruments, I couldn't fix it by hand. And I was fixing it inside the flow, and it gave me this option that I really liked. And the idea is it's that the high bob is a knob to manage your HR. It's like the part of this instrument. Then I found some typo, and then I decided just to move some letters to give it like some human touch, because the High Bob is human-centered company, and that's it. And then I decided to show some mock-ups, to make some collaboration with Bialetti, mock coffee maker, some classic stuff like lanyards, some employee cards, some animal pins. And I didn't have that much time to explore everything. I've tried to make the website with Cloud Design. It messed up with the logo a little bit. It lost I somewhere, but it made a cool animation for this. And basically for the one prompt website, I think it's kind of look cool. I like the colors. I like the fonts that he proposed, but mainly I like the logo. I think it's kind of cool, and the idea of the instrument, one instrument for everything. So yeah, that's it. But the main thing, the turning point designing the logo was when I asked AI not to give the precise prompt and give some imagination.
Nice. I like it. Thank you very much for walking us through. I mean, we should appreciate how hard it is when you get something from Nana Banana or whatever, and you can't like touch it even a bit and like correct something. Like, I feel your pain here. So shout out for you for like doing an amazing design without like touching anything. And I like the logo, like again, it kind of shows you like your metaphor, the instrument, or you have it as an image, you have it in logo, that is one instrument that does everything. I would say though, it reminds me there is like this meme on LinkedIn that every AI company has some shape of rounded logo, like, and there is a comparison of all of them. So no wonder why the best logo that AI could give you would be something rounded. And again, maybe it's because like all the tech sort of like tries to sell you the same thing, like the tech that will solve everything for you in your specific area. But I really love the graphic and like the reference to the like old like design and more kind of like, yeah, basically old school. And we can see it's the same as with Mike's design and with Nick's design. There is this craving right now for analog stuff. I saw recently someone showed an app. Someone built an app for Apple for iPhones with the camera. Basically, it just takes the pictures, but on your screen it looks like analog camera with all these 3D buttons and everything, because it like reminds us of those like times when things were like safer and you could touch everything it again, even that you were working with an AI setup, like we still see the human touch in it and the craving for it as well. Well done. Look at this. Yeah, like honestly, in 75 minutes, that's insane. Both of you, just amazing job, and it was really fun to watch how you doing this. I was just yapping here, but yeah, just like prove that to get something well done doesn't matter how much you have time when like you have the craft, and doesn't matter how good AI gets within the design, you still need to know the craft, need to be able to see and differentiate like good from medium as a designer. So obviously, like there's huge demand to get designers who've been through the old school and know the old school. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
let's.
Yeah, I wanted to point out also that you couldn't use like tools apart from AI. I couldn't use AI, but again, the whole point is the best way to work today is to use original tools and AI. So if you go into, I don't know, AI to generate logo, for example, and you have something like Nick does, or Nick have. So as an idea, then you go into, I don't know, Figma or Illustrator, and you can work out this idea into like something much more like complex or interesting. But if you have just AI and you think like, oh, AI will solve everything for me, it is, as you can see, like Nick struggled a bit, right? And again,
Yeah.
myself, if I wouldn't use like Nana Banana for mockups, the whole thing that I would show you, it will look like that. And again, it's the same design, right? But it doesn't look the same for any kind of client. So there's no point of just being, I don't know, naughty and say like, oh, I will not use AI at all because I don't know, I am like old school guy, which I am, to be honest. Yeah. So again, like I think like the best way is to be somewhere in between when you know how much great things you can do by your own, which gives you actually like a lot of confidence, and to use AI tools, not just general that we use, but any kind of complicated stuff as well. When you can do something original, or again speed you up, or I don't know, do something that will create additional value. It doesn't matter. So you're doing lots of things together. And my last point would be that in order to use either original tools, either AI, you should know lots of basics, lots of fundamental. They help you to judge. And I don't know. I think like AI today, it can't judge for you like with the visuals. It can judge with the copyright. And again, it's not like 100%. It's like somewhere 70, 80%, because you always have to, when you're working on copy with AI, you're always making lots of effort to have something really meaningful. And visuals, AI don't handle like how good it is in order to, in terms of like brand, direction, all of that. And again, if you want to do it, if you want to like really understand and judge well, you have to know lots of basics. And I always try to tell that basically AI is like a multiplier, but it's an unfair multiplier. That if you know lots of stuff and you're willing to do lots of work, AI will help you and multiply you really insane. If you don't know lots of fundamental stuff and you will use it, basically most of the time you will be doing just like mediocre stuff. Again, just because you don't have ability, like, or you should, or you don't have ability to just judge well, judge fast. Maybe sometimes not fast. Maybe sometimes you're waiting for 2 hours before you have something really great. And if you don't have this kind of ideas, you will have thing that everybody calls today AI slop. And again, my idea is that, in my vision, that every designer who wants to be like really great should spend a lot of time of learning and practicing fundamentals, graphic design, like animation, 3D stuff, any kind of things that you love, because we all love the same, the different things. But you have to spend lots of time on, again, practice design, because then your eyes got calibrated and you're doing better and better and better with any kind of tool, AI, not AI, it doesn't matter. So that was my point. Any kind of questions do you have, guys? Can we see the logos side by side? Oh, there will be, Nick, should we like zoom in? Yeah, like, yeah, we can do like that. Both of them in monotone? No.
I really love how when you see the logos side by side, as much as like Nick's logos or still like looks very unique and the letters are different, I feel like Mike's logo, if I were to judge, I would say it looks more unique to me. It looks less like something I've already seen on the market. Again, because what AI does, it like replicates everything that already has been done before. But still, for an AI logo, great job, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. We should be worried, everybody, right?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, guys. Like last questions, if you have something, and we'll wrap it up. Before you type the questions, I wanted to say one more time, like, sorry for our technical troubles. I think we tested all the stuff that can happen wrong, and next time it should be much better. Thanks for typing us that there's no sound or something had broken. I like that I fixed it. That was cool. But yeah, next time, I hope it will be better.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And if you have any feedback apart from the sound that we will fix, please welcome and let us know what we could do better next time.
Yes.
And yeah, have a pleasant evening. Do we have something where to share LinkedIn? Oh,
I shared my LinkedIn. I think everybody can do the same.
I don't think I can type in the chat, but you can find me in Mike's friend.
I'll share yours while we're waiting for questions, if there will be some. If not, we'll be wrapping up in a minute.
Yeah. So what do you think? Are you gonna go and pitch this to Hi Bob?
I'm not sure, but maybe that's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. No questions. Great. I was genuinely, like, I can't say tired, but at the half point, I was like, will I do something great or not? Will I embarrass myself? I like that I didn't. I love that. But yeah, again, thanks for coming. See you next time, Nick. Thank you so much, Juliet. Awesome show. Thank you. I was like listening to you. It helped me. So yeah, thanks.
Thank
All
you.
Right. Speak soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Cheers. Bye.